Back in Texas, we took our rad e-bikes on this bike ride. The results: an on-the-road master lesson in where not to ride your bikes and then how to repair them once you get so many flat tires. This is not a step-by-step tutorial on how to repair your bike. In fact, this is just an, if I can Google it and learn how to do it, then you can do the same thing and probably do an even better job than I did. What follows is a very condensed version of how we made these repairs and how we set these tires up so they can ride over cactus needles, hopefully safely in the future. This is a cactus, and this is your rad bike tire on cactus needles. Flat, flat, flat. First things first, front tires on most bikes are easy to take off, and the rad is no exception. Let's take the wheel off so it'll be easier to work on this. So that wasn't that difficult to do. Let's take the valve stem cover off, and now the next thing is we're going to take the tire apart. But first I need to get the kit. We've got a little small bike repair bag that has everything we need to be able to repair these tires. Next step is, like with any tire change, let's take the tire off. I'm going to take the inner tube out. Normally we would inflate this and look for the hole. I see one of them right here, and we would scuff it up and put a patch on it. But since we know there's lots of problems with this inner tube, we're going to go ahead and just keep it as a backup, but we have brand new inner tubes to put back in. But before we do that, I need to feel the inside of the tire to make sure that everything that punctured this is not still in the tire. So right here's one. And they're not easy to get out. Right there is what causes the issue. But that's not the only one in here. Look at this. Right, here's another one. Here's another one.
So we don't know that all of them cause the flat tire, but
I think only one or two did, but man, look at all it picked up. The way to know if it went through is to feel
on the other side.
But you want to get them all out, because eventually they could ride themselves back into the inside of the tube.
Owen ended up taking the whole tire off just to make sure that he got all the cacti
Needles.
All the needles out, just to make sure. And found in a bunch on the inside.
I'm up to about 20 right now. The next step to keep us from having to do this every time we ride our bikes out here in the desert, they make these tire liners that hopefully it's going to fit okay for these. They're not specifically made for the rads, but hopefully they'll work. And they're really, really thick protective barriers that go between the inner tube and the tire, so that if anything pokes through, it should hit this hard piece right here.
Wow.
Now we're going to put the inner tube in and inflate it just a little, and then we'll put the liner underneath that. Come on, baby. Valve stem's in, and that's the very center of the tire. So now,
Gonna stuff that tube in there.
stuff the tube in.
Shirt's coming off.
Okay, the liner's in there. Now we're going to see if I can get the wheel back on without having to use very much of the tool, because I don't want to pinch the inner tube. Now let's carefully put air back in. That seems like it's working. Do I sound surprised? Pump it up to keep its form, and I'll check the exact PSI a little bit later. One down, 3 to go. Back tire is a little more difficult just because, well, for any bike, but for this one I've got to disengage the motor.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and I thought it was going to hold air and be fine, but now I pulled one of the needles out.
And you can hear it.
You can hear air coming out, so
Yeah, he's going to be
this
flat.
one's got to be done anyway. So now I'm just going through and seeing if I can find all the ones that are out here while it's pumped up.
Maggie has a hard job fixing the tires in here in the van. She's laying up on a pillow. It might be a little hot in here for it. Keep telling her to come outside. We could have found a bike shop in Tucson that fixed the bikes. I know you called somebody somewhere else and they didn't.
I did. But then I decided that as much as we ride and as far as we ride, I need to practice doing this in a controlled environment instead of doing it out on the side of a road.
Yeah.
So that's why we're doing this.
And plus it's good to know when you do travel with an e-bike and you can't find a bike shop, it's good to know that you can fix it if you need to.
Well, it took about 2 hours and 45 minutes, and I think now that we've done it, we could probably do both bikes and both tires on both bikes in about an hour and a half, maybe stretching it to 2 hours. But it's worth it. Those liners should keep us from picking up more of the goat heads and other cacti thorns, and so should be a good thing. All right, I'm going to take a ride and see if it's working.
All right. But you're going the other way.
Wood.
Good.